I want this to be known as one of the most powerful images in all of Pokemon. That what we have here is the final game of the Pokemon 2019 Worlds Championships Senior Division. And it ends in a forfeit because of Togedemaru. That people are saying Togedemaru is the new Pachirisu because of how hard it dismantled its opponent. And I feel like you can only agree once we are through watching this battle, but I want to keep it on this image for a little longer, because the sheer surprise from Ko's face, he's just like, wait, a forfeit? What? And then just the acceptance of defeat. Like, I could see a little bit of understandable anger, but also reverence for what happened to cause this. And that is what we're going to be breaking down today. So if you end up enjoying the video, don't forget to leave a like. This is one of those things to share with your friends. Like when everyone just spammed Pachirisu everywhere, this feels even more powerful than that. I wish more people cared about competitive Pokemon, because then this would have even more weight, even more power. But as it stands, this is absolutely insane. So we have to start at just the selection, because both people have seen each other's teams. They know what wants to happen, and they've each had success. One win apiece when throwing down these crazy strategies means a lot. Now we can even see on turn 1 that the team selection has made an impact, that the existence of Amoonguss, whether or not it is in this battle, is forcing the use of Tapu Fini, if not the lead of Tapu Fini. That way Spore no longer becomes a threat. But as we can see, we have the Togedemaru Rayquaza, and this must have been one of those main things that caused Ko to go to finals like this. But we can see Ko already throwing out the fist bump because Togedemaru has the fake out. So fake out completely shuts down the Tapu Fini for the turn. Tailwind activates. Now Togedemaru is faster than the Gengar. That's very scary to have. Gengar, it protected. It didn't rush out that Perish, because if it does, Helping Hand plus Earth Power is a threat onto the Gengar for that one-hit KO. So there's just so much pressure being exerted by Ko, but Lewis always has some kind of advantage to gain back. That if you get rolling on that Perish and you can shut down your opponent, you just get such an advantage and win like that, which is why you have to also understand that both of these players are in the finals for a reason. That I feel like there's this kind of like mental fatigue mixed with metagame and stuff. I feel that the Perish Trap was so successful because, for the most part, you can eventually figure it out and shut it down and have like a little bit of way to like tech against it on your team. But during GS Cup rules, we're also worrying about Mega Rayquaza, Xerneas, Primals, and stuff like that. If the Gengar just kind of appears, you have less to deal with it because the rest of your team is set on dealing with the other threats inside of this meta. So Lewis taking advantage of that. It got him in the top 2. Ko, he's just kind of playing it through the way he does. And we can see this is going to be the Earth Power onto the Gengar. Not enough to KO, though. I want to know, like, if that's an EV difference, like what's going on right there. But that's some weird stuff, because Perish Song does go off from the Gengar. There was no Helping Hand into the Earth Power. Maybe Ko thought it would be enough damage. Zing Zap, that's also like a really threatening move onto the Fini. So even, like, again, just going back to the teams, there's so much going on right here. This is very strong against Fini. Fini is very strong against this. So Amoonguss Togedemaru actually just really good to show against your opponent because it makes their decisions have a lot more weight behind it. So Incineroar didn't really accomplish much, and as you can see, Lewis, he was cheering. You got to pay attention to what's happening in the bottom left and bottom right, because their emotions or their emoting really shows you what's going on right here. So Lewis won turn 2, Ko won turn 1. What's going to happen now? Because this is going to be a pretty big one, but I think you can kind of figure it out. It's Perish. Gengar just used it. That means Gengar is going to be protecting this turn for sure. So with that understanding, this is also why you can play against Perish fairly well. So Gengar goes for the protect. He's safe. Incineroar, not even going to fake out, just goes for the protect as well. Can't do anything about it. Now, this is where you start putting that mental pressure onto your opponent if you're running Perish. Like, oh, I got to get this out of the way. But if I'm attacking, then that means, you know, my Pokemon are going to die. I can't switch out because of the Gengar. Gengar's switching next turn anyway, so I can't get out. You just kind of lose at this point. Like, how do you break through Perish in this situation? You know, it really comes down to that last turn if you can outplay your opponent hard enough to make it happen. But what Ko accomplishes here is one of the single greatest turns in all of Pokemon. So, gonna let that selection go, and we're just gonna watch it play out. So Gengar, that's the switch. Gengar safe, Perish refresh. Groudon coming in. So now what you want is you want Incineroar to use that U-turn. By having Incineroar use U-turn, you bring back in Gengar. That means next turn, if Gengar's safe, because the way that like the switches and predictions work out, if the opponent can't play through this one, Gengar's on the field, Perish is at 1, GG right there, you're going to be losing your Pokemon. Gengar can just protect. It doesn't have to worry about Perish Song anymore. And then Groudon, it can protect as well. So that's what makes the Perish so frustrating. And all Incineroar needs to do is get that U-turn off, but also Groudon coming in with that Primal. So that's a very scary and dangerous Pokemon as well. So there's a lot of things that can be happening. And then we see it go down. So Desolate Land, that's actually going to get rid of the Delta Stream, which is putting Rayquaza even into more pressure. So Rayquaza lands with that Earth Power. Supposed to hit the Gengar, that's whatever. Still a lot of damage onto the Groudon, but that's something that you just have to take in this situation. And then Togedemaru with the Encore, and you can see the reaction like, wait, what just happened? Oh, that's very bad, because now Incineroar forced into the Protect. It's gonna fail. Doesn't really matter at that point. Doesn't get to bring back in the Gengar. Perish is at 1 now, and Rayquaza is about to be a free man. So that's another thing that you can see happening. So if Lewis wants to take advantage, he knows Rayquaza is going to be switching out. He doesn't know what Togedemaru is going to be doing, and that's just the most that you can hope for at this point. So actually, it's kind of like the craziest 2 turns in all of Pokemon when you think about it. Because like landing an Encore and stopping that isn't insane, but this is where you just watch everything fall apart. So Rayquaza gets that switch out, Incineroar comes in. That's going to be good. Intimidate onto Incineroar, not going to be as strong. Intimidate onto Groudon. Groudon now doing less damage with those Precipice Blades. That's just going to be something that ends up happening. And Incineroar, that's going to be a switch out. So it's like, all right, getting that manual switch out, bringing in the Gengar, still trying to put in a lot of that pressure onto it. So Zing Zap from Togedemaru, that's going to be predicted onto the Gengar. Maybe not even predicted on Gengar, just putting it there. Gengar's gone. There goes Lewis's team right there. Groudon with the Precipice Blades now shows some Fan Friday level shenanigans. So Togedemaru survives on the Sturdy, and I think this is where you can win off of surprises. Who knows that Togedemaru has Sturdy? It looks like, Lewis was actually surprised about that. Like, wait, he didn't die? Why not? Sturdy. And because this is game 3 and Togedemaru was in the last game, Lewis knew that Togedemaru had the eject button. Togedemaru got hit with a fake out and then eject button activated. So it's like, okay, he has the eject button, but if I just outright kill him with the Precipice Blades, it doesn't matter. No, this is actually one of the most ingenious things I've ever seen. Togedemaru survives on Sturdy against Primal Groudon, not just in this game, but in all of the other games to get him here at the finals, to then eject button out, which brings in the Rayquaza, which means now Rayquaza gets its Delta Stream in. So that is like the most clever, ingenious Fan Fridays Togedemaru. That it has the Encore to shut down those protects, to lock in fake out Pokemon, to remove an opponent's turn while under Tailwind from the Rayquaza. Togedemaru also has like fake out threat, and it can do all kinds of other weird things, and Zing Zap can even make the opponent flinch. So there's some cool stuff going on right there, but just the existence of that, because that Togedemaru is in there to ruin the other Pokemon's day while Primal Groudon is on the field. If Primal Groudon hits it, Togedemaru doesn't die, Rayquaza gets come back in for free, and now Delta Stream puts Rayquaza back in at a massive advantage. And then, what can you do in this situation if you're Lewis? Because Incineroar, it can shut you down. Groudon, it doesn't have as much fun stuff as it would like to have. And then you still have Togedemaru coming in. Togedemaru has that fake out, Zing Zap, Helping Hand, and then the Encore. So like, Helping Hand, Encore, those are just nasty ways of shutting down your opponent. If they're not expecting it, or if they just like walk into it like we saw, it's going to make things very, very difficult. That was kind of the play right there. I don't think I've almost, like, not ever, because we've seen a lot of weird stuff happen on Fan Fridays, but you almost never see a single Pokemon do that much in a single turn of battle. So Finny came in just to get that terrain going up. Incineroar back in, back out, trying to get that Intimidate, but the Rayquaza does have that special threat. So you pretty much have to think like Groudon has to protect here, or else it's going to go down to the Earth Power. or unless depending on like what Incineroar does. So no Protect though. Incineroar fakes out Rayquaza with that Earth Power. That's going to be going on to the Groudon. I guess he was maybe thinking that Rayquaza would try to focus on the Tapu Fini to take it down. So the fake out didn't really do anything, but you don't have any reason. And I think this is maybe where Lewis is starting to tilt super hard, because if you're Ko, you're like, well, I'm outspeeding the Groudon, so either he protects and then nothing. Like, pretty much it's a nothing turn. Ko only wins in that last turn from fake out hitting Tapu Fini and stopping it, and then Groudon having to protect, or Groudon dying, therefore the fake out onto Incineroar's whatever. I don't even know what else Incineroar could have done as like some kind of read or prediction. So you just do that. You just do the fake out. Even though it didn't accomplish anything, it was because he had everything else for that turn on lock. And now, look at that. Would you like to forfeit the match and quit now? He's over. He's done with it. I didn't think I'd ever see anything like that happen at Worlds 2. That is the rage. Well, I wouldn't even call it. Is it a rage quit? I don't know. It's hard to keep, like, when you're trying to, like, understand the sportsmanship going on and reflect what just happened there, because these are two Worlds class players in the seniors finals. Lewis making it happen with that Perish Trap. You know, I think the thing is, when you're thinking about GS Cup format and all the threats, some threats just slip under the radar like that, because you can beat Perish Trap if you know what you're doing. If you're not expecting it, that's how you get second place at 2019 Worlds, apparently. But actually got him to forfeit. Now, here's the thing. I see this as a much more sporting move than just kind of playing out the battle. Because, like, I feel like there is a little bit of rage quit inside of there. But that is also, like, the ultimate respect that you can give. You can try to fight it out on the world stage. You can try to just be like, I'll do something. But also, you just have to, like, that's the handshake. When your opponent shuts you down that hard with a Togedemaru. You know, it's like when the Pachirisu just completely ruined your day. The only thing you can do is just kind of look at them, and then with so much respect, just throw out the handshake. Just be like, it's done. I can't get back this game because of that Togedemaru. You know, I think giving your opponent the forfeit in like these kinds of situations is when it's almost a more sporting thing to do. When it's just like, that is the ultimate show of respect for the strategy. That is the ultimate show that I have been defeated. And it takes a lot of courage and guts to do that as well. When you're like, I'm just going to walk away from Worlds like that. You know, he did it, and that's crazy stuff. So hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.